right, so
Open Space and Recreation Planning Meeting, October 25th, Land Use Room. This will be recorded.
all right, so this is the open forum to discuss update of open space and recreation plan. Welcome.
Thanks.
If you had a chance to look at it at all for the,
I'm thinking that it's the 2-page.
Yeah, Jeannie's on the Park and Rec.
Park and Rec, yeah.
We went over it during one of the
We
meetings.
did, we had some things that we could share.
And you have some comments you want to add or
Well,
subtract?
can
or-
I give the floor to Dave, since I think Dave had some things written down?
Yeah, we just changed some of the things. Some of the things we didn't find, or some of the things were done already, like the rail trail and the parking on Miller Road for the rail trail. Some of the things that were on here, like improve and expand the swamp park.
Okay, we're gonna go slow. The first thing was
Sorry about
the
that.
Miller Road parking.
Yeah, slow me down.
I got it.
The swamp park, I think that was out back here, or was it the Goose Pond?
It's, Swamp Park is
Is
here.
Is that the Boy Scouts are doing?
Yes.
The
that's-
swamp trail,
The trail
Yes.
to Great Brook?
yeah,
That is,
ADA accessible.
right, and it's being built by volunteers, the Boy Scouts, Marines, et cetera.
That's
So it's
90,
ongoing project,
95%
Still a work in
completed.
progress.
Still in progress.
Mhm.
Hasn't quite finished yet.
And a couple of the things on here, like the moguls for the dirt bikes and snowmobiles on Miller Road. I know we had gotten a email about that from somebody, which I guess it technically falls under us, but that's land.
It's
that-
Park and Rec land, and it's, yeah, it's
But
the
we
the
don't use
police
it for
called
anything.
because they
It's
were,
Basically,
the kids were riding out there, and they had made some moguls, and they were
Yeah.
riding through there.
we don't have a budget to do all kinds of, buy concrete barriers to put up and that kind of thing. I mean, we're pretty tight as far as it goes running the park and the rail trail things
Mhm.
now. So I, like things like that, I don't know if we should keep including in,
Well, we could put in, there has been police enforcement,
The, right, the local police department has
went
been
out there and they
notified.
talked to these kids, they had the whole suits on and the helmets and
Right.
everything, and they were out there using it as a track, and they explained to them that they couldn't do that anymore. They didn't put barriers up there, though?
I think
Should need to do a little more research on that. We could talk to,
I think they were trying to see if DPW couldn't do something, you know, to discourage
yeah,
the kids, because there is no adult supervision, and it is a liability issue. So,
so we can check with the police and DPW to see what action was taken. I'm not sure, was it Kurt that went out there, Saunders?
I forget
it
now,
was.
because it was the Hanks family, they were selling the house, and they called me and said they had a potential sale
Right.
fall through because
of the,
what was going on, and they said, does the town allow this? And I said, let me look into it, and then we found out, wait a minute, it was property, I guess our property,
yeah,
but we had never authorized any.
that we don't use it for anything.
even though
but
it's,
the-
well,
the
it's
beach
swamps, it
or-
really can't use it for
Yeah,
anything, it's
right.
swamp, but it's under Park and Rec jurisdiction for
Right.
some reason.
So, I mean, I know the police went out, I think the building inspector went out.
Mm-hmm,
And I guess they did talk to the young individuals,
mm-hmm.
told them that they shouldn't be doing that, building things to jump somebody else.
So we could update that portion with the
Yeah, we can,
action has been taken and,
yeah, I'll finish like updating everything with, and make a good list of things. I just, a lot of notes right now
mhm.
from when we were at the meeting. And other things, we had something on Goose Pond that was in the old, from the last time, a recreation plan for Goose Pond. I've been on the board for 2 years, I think Jeannie's been on it longer.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything for Goose Pond as far as doing anything with that.
That was under Park and Rec though,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. So I know
I
conservation,
don't know if anybody else has done anything with it, or?
No.
conservation was,
I-
wanted to put a boardwalk in Goose Pond. They had Audubon go out there and design a boardwalk for it at one time. It never went any further than that because we found out that the town doesn't own Goose Pond. On the assessor's map, it just has it blank.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller claims he owns Goose Pond, but it doesn't, shows that he owns some of the land around it, and the town owns some of the land around it, but doesn't show who actually owns the bog itself.
Right.
So for something, when I update everything, should I still, do you think I should still include that in, or?
Not if there's
try-
nothing going for Park and Rec, I would take that right out of there.
Okay.
Either that or maybe refer it to conservation, you know, as possible.
Yeah, it should go
some
under-
sort of scenic,
Should go under conservation.
right.
We still have a couple of $1,000s in the budget to develop that plan.
Yeah. But
Excuse
if
me.
we're gonna get into a legal issue over ownership, that could eat up money so fast.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have to start doing surveys, especially around.
That's what put a stop to it. We had an Audubon sanctioned boardwalk where people would walk out there. You could hunt off the boardwalk too, but, and once we found out, Miller came over and said, we used to have it on the maps that the town owned that property.
Yeah.
That's why we did that. under
So
the
how did
assumption.
it become, he thinks he owns it, the town thinks they own it?
He
There's-
took-
Nobody's got a deed to it?
He had
Anything,
to,
or
Well,
not anything clear?
around the lakes, even when cartographics, when we did all the work, there is a lot of question marks around the lakes and the border with Connecticut, and it's still being resolved, even with Granville's border in some areas.
Oh, yeah?
There's issues that need to be resolved, and cartographic would look at deeds and meet with people, and they would discuss things, and then if they could get an agreement, then they'd draw the line, you know, for the assessors,
But this is going back and forth between Connecticut
I would
and Mass on a lot of
imagine,
things?
you know, we can check with the assessors and see, you know, what they say.
yeah, let's see what
And we can check with cartographics.
because when Cartographics did that, they asked everybody to come in with their
Right.
information.
And they met with people and every single person got notification, they could go down there and review what cartographics had done, you know? And then they did have special meetings with people where there was
Unsure
question.
with things?
You know, deeds where it said to the old oak tree or to
Yeah.
the big rock, you know? I mean, it got a little fuzzy at times.
Yeah, just eliminate that from the. Hello? Hey, Chris. Well, come on over. See ya. The meeting started at 6, but we're having, the official meeting starts at 7, but this is the public input at 6. I got your letter here, but it'd be good if you were here to present it. Well, hopefully this one does. See ya. Bye-bye. Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Good.
All of a sudden my hearing aids are working. Hey. They work on the phone, but they don't work. Wow. Modern technology is great, huh?
Okay, other things we have is the rail trail, I mean, since that's been finished up.
Mhm.
And then the Friends of the Rail Trail group keeps
Right.
adding things for us to do, or donating things to
I
the
don't-
town, like parking and access to different
I don't even know
parts
if we
off
had
the
that.
road.
Was that even the old plan that Friends of Rail Trail, did they even exist at that time?
No.
No, so that's something new.
That's a good thing.
Something to add, it's good.
And they've also donated different things, and we have, especially one of the members of the Friends that does a lot of, like, trees will fall on the trail, and he gets called, or between him and myself, to cut them up and get them off of the trail. I don't know if we should mention anything on that, or if that's,
Well, was it Pete Heap that was at the last meeting, mentioned about the trees and the
Yeah,
roots
he
and
was
stuff?
talking about that.
Yeah, that's a
Maintenance.
constant,
Yeah.
a constant maintenance thing, but, I mean, that is something we could use a grant for, because there's some parts, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the trails, where the roots are
So-
growing under and it's
See, that'd
causing
be
it
a
to
good thing to
bump.
put in the open space plan, looking for a grant, so then when you go to look for a grant, we've got this in the open space plan.
And explain that it is because of the trees,
The maintenance that's required for
Right.
any trails.
root systems causing damage.
Because if you go
Good.
into Suffield and East Granby, it's a lot more noticeable, because I think that part of the trail's been, like, in Suffield,
Been there
smaller
for
than
longer,
the Miller
yeah.
Road section, you can really tell what's going on with it over time.
Excellent, these are the type of things we're looking for to get
Okay,
into this.
well, I'll make it more detailed. Was there anything else on the rail trails?
I can think of one thing, and it's Danny Call, who used to be a commissioner, who moved back to Westfield. He came in and they were going to donate those,
The counter?
the counters.
Yeah, they did put one up down
Yeah,
by the Westfield Southwick
I
line.
think they
The counters
donated
to,
one.
that would tell us the traffic.
Really,
And
people
they're talking
counters?
about putting in additional counters, because they're hoping this will show
Yeah,
future grants for the whole
absolutely, yeah.
rail trail. And so Westfield donated one or two?
One for us, but they put in another couple in Westfield.
Yeah, and he was talking about getting us I think another one. So we're working cooperatively with Westfield on the rail trail,
That's good to have that in there too, with the cooperation with neighboring communities.
neighboring communities on the rail trail, in the extension of it.
Yeah, the Friends Group actually does a lot. There's one member that's pretty much every week and sends
Boy,
us
that's good to have.
most of the time.
Now, in the winter, there's no grooming of the trails or anything? or-
No, it's pretty much if the snow melts and people want to go on it, fine kind of thing. We try to keep up with it as much as we can as far, I mean, I think we kind of go overboard with the mowing part, though I shouldn't say that, compared to going into Connecticut, which might be every month and a half they cut the grass there. It's more like a park on our section, and we try to keep up with that part of it.
So they have snowmobiles in the winter that use it?
Technically, no, but I think,
Prohibited,
They are prohibited?
yeah.
right, motorized vehicles are prohibited.
I mean,
using the
we
rail trail.
pretty much our guy that we have doing the mowing pretty much took this month off, and he'll come back for a couple of weeks part-time just to get the leaves off the first couple of weeks in November, where they fall heavily, and then usually the Friends Group will take care of it in the springtime.
You know, the rail trail's been such a great asset to Southwick. It's surpassed any expectations I ever had. I always hoped it was gonna be successful, but.
And
seems-
it's helped stimulate some economic activity too.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
for businesses adjacent to it.
Mm.
Well, that's what the counters are for. I guess the state uses the counters, how much traffic goes by certain areas.
How we doing on parking? Do we still need parking in certain
I
areas?
think we've got enough on Miller Road now
Yeah,
with
where
the
we-
section they put on.
Yes, I think.
I think it's on the
Concerns.
northern end up here that we're still lacking parking, correct? That people are parking in the field that,
Yeah.
People parking on private property and, you know, there's been, I guess, informal discussions about different parcels that might be
so
available.
it'd be another thing for grants, you know, to put that in there, that we're looking for some grant money for additional parking.
Right.
We also had someone come to us that requested that we had a little maintenance station at Miller Park. And it was kind of where someone had gotten a flat tire and was traveling far, they could blow up their tire or they could maintain it right there. It was a station for that, and it was also just a station to check like your tire pressure. And they had proposed, like, was it 2 stations just with pumps?
Yeah, and wrenches.
But, yeah, and wrenches, just.
Must be a name for that, right? To-
Well, there's one in Suffield, just
Yeah.
over
What would you call that?
over the bridge. But they
You can go
were,
back through my notes and see
they were
what
fairly
they
expensive.
weren't cheap. So we, at the time, we told the person who presented to us that there wasn't really a budget for that and that we would consider it in the future, but she had put together a little presentation and had some prices, but they were a little pricey.
Put it on your wish list, that way there, if any grants come up in that direction, that we gotta figure out what it's gotta be called, a certain name, service, there must be some kind of,
Yeah, it's like almost
Fancy
like a
name for
service
it.
station, but it was a little expensive for the pumps, and then we worried about vandalism, but I guess you're gonna worry about that with anything, with putting anything on the trail.
I talked to one entrepreneur, I think it was related to you, that wanted to put one in up in Northampton, wanted to have a business next to
Yeah.
the rail trail.
yeah.
You know, he had talked about,
Sure.
you know, where he'd have tires and bike parts and sell other things too.
Spare parts there.
You know, but he said he
Goodies.
thought it would be a good little
Yeah.
seasonal business.
Little niche, yeah.
You know, and we do have businesses that abut it, you know, that.
Well, this person was a business that was the owner of Red Riding.
Ah,
Red Riding. Who
Which
is that?
would be a good spot, I mean, to
And she
have it.
said, because they come into her store and they're
Right.
always like, hey, do you have a wrench?
Oh,
She
yeah.
said she keeps a wrench there because so many people have asked her. But she said, why not put the station right out here? And her plan was, her idea was the hopes that that whole area is being redone now, that
Yeah.
we could get the station in while it's being redone instead of coming in after the fact. But it was just another one of those things where it wasn't be cheap to do it.
it's too bad she doesn't, as an entrepreneur.
I know.
That's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Do
could get
something with her.
a shed from,
Right, right.
you know, and
Mhm.
put up a little seasonal shed and have a.
Couple of
someone there
pumps and
that-
a couple of
You know,
spares.
and have somebody that's there
Yeah.
and sells different things, you know, it's, you know. Not saying you're gonna make $1 million, but it might be.
Yeah. Bound to
Little
happen
niche.
sooner or later, it's
Right.
just whoever has the opportunity.
That was about it for rail trail things?
Yeah. Yes.
So you wanna move on to Wally Park, 'cause I think that was very new when we
I
did the
did
last
that
plan.
all last night, but I'll do it again tonight. We have, Joe Hoff runs a Southwick Sports Committee where he's trying to involve the rec center, the park and rec, and the schools and coordinate everything. And he also runs a summer camp down there. He has the last couple of years, like baseball camp or different sports things and that. So that's one of the things we have at Wally Park. I don't know, we should add that to it. And
Oh, yeah,
is
definitely,
part of our thing.
summer camps for, sports,
Right.
yeah.
And we just had all the street lights put in, they're not quite ready to go yet, but all that kind of thing. So I don't know if we add like things we've been doing.
Update on the
since the
on the
last
status of
update.
Wally Park,
Should that be a section in there, like things we've done since the last one?
absolutely.
Let's see, we have an arborist who's kind of been trading some of the field use down there for coming in and taking care of some of the trees or some of the neglected trees down through the park. Trading off like kind of that, because some of the trees are half dead or have root mound balls of
Right.
mulch on them, and kind of fixing them the way they should be fixing them and pruning.
So maintenance is gonna be one of the big issues that's
Yeah,
been
well, we have a
ongoing.
limited budget. I mean, we don't really have a park director, which I harp on you every year.
Yeah.
So
We
we'll-
have a secretary who kind of manages our guys that.
You
mow
wanna
the
add that
lawn
in there,
up
looking
and
to,
everything.
find some funds for a park director and,
Well, I mean, I've gone through this before, but like most towns like that have park and rec kind of things, the guys that do that kind of stuff are under DPW.
DPW, a lot of them do that,
And
yeah.
they'll send them out, whereas we're kind of, I might talk to them some days, like Dean doing a rail trail, or one of the other guys on the boards will go up there and talk to them about mowing the fields, but our secretary, park and rec director, Kara pretty much does everything, like, I know it's way beyond her scope as far as like telling these guys what to do
Oh,
every
yeah.
day, and when we have the fields rented out for baseball, making sure it's lined and it's mowed on whatever fields they
You
need doing.
could add
I
that
mean,
in there, looking for a director, or look for the DPW to,
Well,
because if there are grants that come out for the DPW that might specifically be for these type of,
and we've had informal discussions about this, because Southwick is a little unique in the fact that we have a nonprofit organization, the Southwick Recreation Center,
yeah,
who runs baseball, soccer, floor hockey, basketball, which traditionally that's what Park and Recs do.
mhm.
So they're doing that and saving over 50-plus years, have saved the town millions of dollars by doing that. So I think,
Originally, that was the plan, that
Right.
they were gonna do that, but that never transpired,
Right.
that whole thing.
but now you have the park, and I think that the informal discussions we had, it'd probably be something where either building and grounds or DPW to handle the maintenance.
Well, yeah, there's two things, one is the maintenance, actual maintenance, the other
Right.
is running the park. that-
Right.
I think we're losing a small fortune out there by not booking a lot of events.
Well, we do a fair amount, like the baseball and the soccer brings in probably, what, half of our budget
Yes.
during the year, but it's kind of a weird thing, because it's a public park and the town owns it, but we're basically like, kind of a money-making kind of thing to fund everything. I mean, we probably brought in, I'm just guessing roughly close to $30,000 for field rentals this year. But out of that, we probably spent $8,000 for fertilizer and irrigation.
Just the lights alone
Yeah.
cost thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, usually $1,000, you turn them on once a month, it's $1,000. So
Do you-
you gotta try to get
Do
a
you,
bunch of people using them.
do you expect that the pavilion is gonna have electricity and lighting this coming summer? Because that's a big drawback, not having
I
that.
think that's one of our things, we don't have
Yeah.
any definite thing, but we have talked about it.
I know there's conduit run, and I thought there was even money in the budget for it, but to run extension cords from the bathroom that's not a good feature, it's not a good drawing.
Now, when you're having concerts.
You know, you gotta get a splitter box, and, you know, it should be just a plug right there, you know, in the park.
Yeah, we have talked on that, but I mean, it's just,
In lights,
we have lights that have just went in along the street, which we
Yeah.
haven't had before.
the lights for inside the pavilion itself, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's only X amount of dollars to do
But
all this stuff, so it's
I'm
kind
not
of.
asking you to come up with, do this, I've come up with ideas to make it better, so we can bring in more people, more
Yeah,
money.
yeah, we
This
definitely
is, we're gonna
have
be
it.
begging from this, is gonna be our paper to beg from, to get someone to get some money to
Okay,
help us with
well,
that.
I'm writing all this down, so I'll make
Perfect.
it a lot more detailed before I hand it in.
Yeah, you could talk about concerts, working with the nonprofits and the cultural council.
In the Rotary, was that the Rotary and the Cultural
Yep.
Council
Yeah,
did
we
those
had
concerts?
Three concerts this year.
And that would be nice to keep that, continue that going now. And I know the Cultural Council donated the other half of the stage, so you guys have a full stage for the bands, big enough for the Savage, big enough for the Savage Brothers to be happy with, so
Well, that's good.
it should be.
Now get more people at it. It was a
Right.
good show.
And now that you got the lights where people can see to leave without tripping,
Yeah,
you know, that's a big thing too. The concerts can go later.
yeah.
Is there anything else for Wally Park? I know that,
Well, there's some other things that I think are way down in the bottom of the list for some of the people on the board, like, we talked about the water park or splash park.
We
Or
did.
we had
yeah.
oh,
looked
right,
into
that
but-
came up a few years ago, right? And then they
Yeah, but
dropped
it's-
it.
Well, it was a lot of money, and then just to have a filtration system
To
or else somebody
recycle it, yeah.
to basically be on top of that during the summer, it was a
Like-
lot of money for,
Put it on the list, you know, doesn't
Well,
hurt
we
to,
could- One of our buying in factors would be that we have the well system now.
yes,
It was a big issue before because everybody was like, well, it's.
paying for the
town
water, yeah, it's
which we
crazy
argued
amounts.
for 3 years about that bill.
So that well system is up and functioning, and
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
that's something
More than
that's
paying for
important to get
itself.
that in
Yeah,
there
and
too.
that's a real big help. And I think it coinciding with the park, which gets a lot of utilization from families, I think that's also it could be a big attraction. What else?
And you probably should add in there that they have the one call away event, you know, and how many people?
That-
Thousands?
Yeah.
Thousands of people attended that.
It's a lot of attraction. Now, when we're talking about open space, and this, I don't know if this means Park and Rec or even the rec center, but what about there being some property that can be utilized for practice purposes? One of the big things we're running into now as far as Park and Rec is we have very limited space for teams to practice for their games, whether it be Wally Park, people using Wally Park or Rec Center. And I don't know if there's an area where it's just used kind of like first come, first serve, where people can practice, because what we're running into is charging certain organizations a good amount of money who are paying, and then, you know, having to, for lack of better words, kick other teams off that are coming into practice, and then there ensues an argument about, well, I'm a taxpayer, I should be able to come here and have my team practice, and then the other person says, well, hey, I just paid to have this.
Do you know
So-
anything about practice fields or how that?
It's become quite the
I think
dilemma.
we're trying to
Oh,
set
yeah,
you up in the
Right.
first week, or
It-
beginning of December to get a meeting to.
Right, it's,
do all
soccer
this.
usually is where it comes up in baseball. It comes
Yeah.
up big.
Don't have a couple of not so good fields that you
Well-
could put
well,
aside
it's-
for that?
Well, that's-
Like somebody wrote an email about, well, we need fields with lines on them and stuff like that. And I know when I help coach and stuff like that, most of our practices were over on the school
Yeah.
grounds,
Yeah.
right? And you teach kids the fundamentals, you teach kids how to kick and you know, you weren't doing scrimmages or anything like that. And yeah, on Saturday morning, you'd go to a field where
Yeah.
there's lines. And that's how you did it.
Are those school
And even-
fields still available? Or?
Oh, yeah. Kids in Prifty Park, there was practice out here tonight,
Mhm.
you know? I'm talking about the smaller kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because we wanted to start out small.
Yeah.
And then they're using the rec center field more often, but they're trying, I know with the rec center, they try to protect the field for games
Right. The
rather than
people
ruin the
scruffing it
grass
up.
for
Yeah.
practice.
That's
So
why.
that's why you always use the school or did this or do that. Then Wally Park came around, so some people would go down there to practice. But then you got into that dilemma where fields were rented and, you know, so we have to iron out.
You have
and see
to
if we
have a
can't-
policy for that,
See if we
basically.
can't come to some regional session, because I get the same phone calls you do. I'm a taxpayer, it's a public park, why can't I take the kids over there
Mhm.
and practice if nobody's on the field? And that's when I tell them, well, look, we have to have a sit down, because I said the Park and Rec is a separate elected board. They have an obligation and a duty to the taxpayers, and I got an obligation to. And the Southwick Rec Center is a private, nonprofit organization that has no connection to the town of Southwick whatsoever. I mean, to town
Yeah.
government. You know,
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
So it's something we have to work on. I think there's a solution. There's a solution. Is everybody gonna be happy about it? And probably not.
Never
There's a
everybody would be
solution.
happy.
But I think that's an idea. Is there more land available to purchase
Yeah.
that could
For
be
practice fields, to use for
designated
practice
as
fields.
practice
Yeah.
fields?
Something,
And you played sports your whole life, so you know.
yeah.
And when we traveled with the soccer, we went to some towns, it was an embarrassment, you know, they're not level, there's rocks, but the kids still play,
Yeah.
you know?
So that's
And they
something
still had
that's,
fun.
we should definitely get that in there.
It's a thought. If
Might be
there's
able to get a piece of land, you know, just for practice fields and,
Well, I mean, there's parcels, you know, I look over in the industrial park and I see some green fields over there that are just being mowed, and
Yeah.
I'm saying,
not being used.
you know, you know, it's kind of like the soccer field that was up in Westfield on Airport Road
Oh,
by Berkshire Industries.
Berkshire Industries, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
We played games up there,
yeah.
you know. I think it belonged to the city, I'm not sure, I guess it did. You know, but it was right in the middle of their industrial area, and somebody just mowed it and played. So,
We'll add that to our needs.
Okay.
So that's not a bad idea.
I think it could alleviate a lot of
And
the issues, yeah.
Well, you might have, and I don't know, you're on the planning board. I mean, there's open space in some of the subdivisions,
There are.
Mhm.
and that's a trade-off.
Mhm.
And maybe in the industrial park, that might be some sort of trade-off for some large business coming in, that X number of acres be left open space and perhaps
Yeah,
available for practice sports,
Mhm.
you
Is there
know?
any open land in somebody's developments? I know, like in Granby, Connecticut, they do that. And they actually have little soccer fields, like you'll drive into some of the developments, like
Yeah.
right there,
In Suffield too.
where it's just
Yeah.
practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of them don't, yeah, especially they have a certain open space, they have the, what, flexible,
Development, right.
subplans, whatever, they have such and such
we
percentage.
get the
has to
open
be
space on Woodland Ridge that
Yeah, they
not
just let
designated
that,
for anything, that could,
yeah, they let that go to
Open,
natural.
Natural, they let it go.
You
natural,
know. But
But conceivably it could be.
conceivably, some
Maybe
people
something
might
like that.
agree to it.
yeah, yeah, why not? It's a good use of it.
You know, and we got a new development going in on the
Country club or?
east side, right?
Mhm.
There might be some land available there
Yeah.
that maybe, I mean, Jeannie, what are you talking for a practice field, like an acre, not even an acre, right? You know?
I would, yeah, I mean, something where you have maybe the use of, two fields that can be divided, or a half a field for one team, a half a field for another team. You practice, like you said, the fundamentals.
Right, and
Then when it comes game time, or
Right.
when it comes time when another team that's not paying, it becomes usable, and just because we've fielded other complaints where a parent has gone to this section, gone to Prifty was full, gone to the high school, well, not so much the high school, but I'm hearing sometimes they're not allowed to play on it. I know that you can't necessarily just walk onto
you can't go
high
on the
school
field, right.
and tear that up.
But we played every
Right.
other square inch as
Right,
long as it
well,
wasn't
you
a
also
game.
have, there's a backfield
Yeah.
that doesn't get used anymore
Right.
over by Woodland.
Right.
That could be, one that could be added somehow, where it could be maintained
Right.
by somebody, something.
I mean, I think there's options out there, you know, and you could sit, I mean, you'd have to make a case to a developer, because he's gonna be concerned about noise and liability and stuff like that.
Well, the planning
But
board
if
gets
you-
the open space with the cluster subdivisions anyway, so
But I mean, if you made
Make it part of
rules.
the-
if it's a
you
flat
know,
subdivision
grassy
plan, you have to-
area,
Right.
Convince the developer. to
Right,
make
there's
the
no
space.
lights, you know, that.
there's no structures, that's
Right.
basically open space, you don't have any
Right,
structures
yeah.
on it.
And there's
Bring some
limited
cones and-
hours, there's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
going on during
Yeah.
winter months
Yeah.
or.
Yeah.
You bring some, your own cones and your own,
Right.
the fold-up goals or
Right.
something, where someone can just say, all right, here's our impromptu area
Right.
that it can be made into a practice.
Yeah, because you're not gonna have toilet facilities, you're not
Oh,
gonna have
right,
lights or
no,
anything like
but
that.
it's an
so-
option to.
Right, it's an
just-
option.
it's
Hey, we're
full somewhere
practicing
else.
for an hour, quick, boom.
Yeah,
Right.
and then just the homeowners association that ultimately takes over the
Right.
open space would then have to be, or you'd have to figure out how to get them to maintain.
If
it
you
or
could bring
whatever.
that back to the planning board
Yeah.
at your meeting and bring that up just as a concept, an idea,
It
you
might not be,
might not be able to,
right,
might
I
not be
mean,
feasible, but.
some people might say, hey, we don't want the noise
Some
and
people don't
liability and
want-
stuff like that.
exactly.
Mm.
But I'm thinking about industrial, you know, because we're gonna have 200 and 300 acres come available that has to be repurposed in the next 5-10 years, right, over in Hudson. I mean, they're done taking out all the material,
Yeah,
right?
It's a lot of
Yeah.
areas.
So that's gotta be repurposed.
yeah. Great location.
That might be part of the agreement with them, that
Mm.
part of the repurposing are practice fields, unlighted,
Yeah.
you know,
That
boom.
wouldn't be a lot.
Right. And maybe we could work, town takes over the liability, it becomes, we have a lease, kind of like with the Congregational Church,
Yeah.
99-year lease for $1 bent.
Right.
So if someone got hurt, it's town's responsibility,
Sure.
you know.
It's great ideas.
Thank you, Jeannie. Was there anything else? I've got pretty
No,
much
I think-
everything that
I
I've
think
written
we.
down.
I was wondering about the town beaches, what kind of input we have on
we
that.
did, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's,
talked about some things.
we had another one, not the town beach, but let's see. What was the other beach that Bill Jenkins comes in once a year to give us a check?
Oh, that was the original
Old-
town,
Old Town Beach.
Old Town
that we called
Beach?
Old
Yeah.
Town Beach.
We tried to sell it once, and we got voted down overwhelmingly. But it's really, it's unfortunate because it's.
The parking is the problem, that they
Right,
put the
it's-
pump
And now we got the
station
pump station.
right there, because it's a
Yeah.
great place to bring kayaks, canoes,
Yeah.
picnic area.
But we don't do anything with that, and I think they're.
You mow it once a year, right?
Keep out
Yeah,
signs.
we mow it for the gentleman who lives next door to
Right.
it. We have a kind of a,
And there is no area for parking
Right,
around there at all.
that gentleman complains about the mowing, and he's one of the few people that uses it.
yeah.
Because when his relatives come to visit, you know?
I mean, we could entertain, something there. But again, you are dealing, like you said, with the pump station being there, so you do have limited parking. I don't know if it could be something where someone comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning and wants a kayak and they park there, it'd be a first come, first served.
Look into exploring the possibilities for usage of the Old Town Beach,
Okay.
additional usages. But what about the new beach? I'm not familiar with the activity out there. Is that very popular?
Well,
People
Kara
looking
Kara
for?
basically runs that too, like all the hiring and scheduling lifeguards and everything else.
I know that's problematic, trying to get lifeguards, right?
Well, it worked out okay this year.
Yeah, it's been working out, but it's hard. It takes us 3 to 5 months of posting it and not getting too much until crunch time, too many applicants until crunch time.
And you just had a lot of work done out there with the erosion and the sidewalks, and I don't know if that was that done before the
Well,
last
there was a lot of ADA work.
work
was
done
you
since the
know.
I
last
think
open
that was,
space?
what, 2 years ago?
Yes, that was 2 years ago because I was also, we ADA Prifty Park as well.
Right.
So note that also.
Yeah, Prifty Park, that's a good one, it's now
Yeah,
ADA
yeah.
compliant,
Yeah.
and Wally Park's ADA compliant, right on your.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah. We have to go back. It wasn't and then we have to go back.
Do you have a list of all your properties, and do you have the ADA sheet with the compliance sheet that goes with them?
With what we. with
All the
what
park
we
and rec
did?
properties?
No, but I could.
I'll give you what we have from the last plan, and then
Yeah.
update that, you know?
Sure.
It
Okay.
doesn't,
Would that be in the emails that we got with all the?
yeah, it's
It
in
would be in
the,
there?
it's in the current plan, yeah.
Okay.
It's under the ADA accessible portion. I did that last year, I did that in the last plan, but all we have to do is update it.
And did you definitely put in something how we continue to strive to meet ADA requirements?
Yes, we do. Yeah, they have everything listed in here, public and private. They got the Boys and Girls Club. But if you could help with that, that'd be great.
Okay.
We also had, we had established picnic tables there, for folks to actually have somewhere to sit and eat. We also do the barbecue pits.
Yep.
We did that as well. I know that there was some talk recently about some kind of rainy day kind of activity thing where, oh, no. Well, there was some talk about what happens when the water gets, when the lake gets shut down.
Shut down.
Which was
We
the
have that.
month of August this year.
Yeah, we have that quite often. So then, we still have people coming there, and they wanna do activities.
That's the goose problem, because there's, the geese are pooping
Yeah.
out there and.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
what-
big thing,
Yeah,
which we also had, created a net system to try to keep them out of that area.
so that should be included also, that we're working to control the goose or control the E. coli, I don't know how to
Yeah.
put it, but
There's probably some language, official state language.
get it from the Board of Health,
you
get the
I'll look
wording
for it.
from
know.
them.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot going on in recreation in Southwick, don't we?
He added additional parking there too, correct?
Yep.
He added more parking.
More parking also?
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Well, I had a couple of things that
You've got a lot.
been changed since the last plan. Sofinowski Preserve now has a community garden. We'll add that to the open space portion.
Would that be in?
That's
Something with
under
our-
conservation, not park and rec. And I have a letter from Chris, but he should be here any minute. We also have a letter from Citizens Restoring Congamon. On behalf of the Citizens Restoring Congamon, CRC organization, we'd like to stress that CRC and our hundreds of members feel it is vitally important to preserve North Pond as an open space for the enjoyment of all. We believe that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to preserve not only open space for wildlife, but to help preserve the Congamon Great Ponds as a healthy and enjoyable area. If our tax dollars aren't spent on this important project, runoff from homes that might be built there would adversely affect not only the Great Ponds, but also the enjoyment of those visiting our recreational community. No sewers are planned for that area, and with a high water line, septic tanks could pose a health problem, and lawn fertilizers would energize weeds and exacerbate pollution, which would flow into all the lakes. CRC has donated money to this project, and our members know that if Southwick doesn't act soon, we could lose this amazing opportunity. We urge the Open Space and Recreation Planning Committee to support the purchase of this land, thereby utilizing our tax dollars to benefit the town, our residents and visitors. Thank you, Deborah Harath, President CRC.
We also got the select board in September 2016 requested from the Agricultural Commission, Community Preservation Committee, Conservation Commission, Historical Commission, Park and Rec Commission, and Planning Board to prioritize what areas that they felt needed to be preserved. So I think if we wanted to add that in.
That would be good, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
something that we could add in.
Perfect.
That's input from all those boards. And we got the planning board here, so David can represent the planning board. We got Park and Rec.
Yeah, and we're getting a good amount of input.
And we got conservation, letter from them, and CRC, so
Mhm.
I think we seem to be having a good response to our hearing tonight.
Yeah,
People submitting things.
and Craig Samuelson gave us some updated information for the open space plan, and John Stadnicki submitted some new information for sections 7 and 8, is it?
Yes.
So we're moving along. It's just the kind of like pulling teeth, trying to get things done. Do you have an update on the survey?
The survey, that's going out with the tax bill. You did an excellent job, Dennis, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think that's gonna take care of the survey portion and save the taxpayers some money.
That is going to go out. It's a.
Right.
Somebody told me there was a problem with the printing, or did you hear anything about
I
that?
didn't hear anything
No.
about that. I didn't hear anything about
Maybe
that.
maybe I misunderstood that. Hopefully, it's,
Okay, like I emailed you, for any reason, if we should have a problem with the tax bill, we have to fall back, or that can go out with the census.
Yeah, oh, with the census, okay,
Right.
yeah.
So we have a fallback plan. And once this does go out, we should probably do a press release, you know, that people that,
When they get it, they know what they're getting.
right, are people where their bank pays it or something like that, so they could drop it off, where they could drop it off, or.
We'll leave a box in the, right in the
Right.
front office,
You
so they
know.
can put it in the
So
box.
if we do a press release, and maybe the press will help us with something at that time.
And that has been pre-approved by the state, so that's a good thing to get
Yeah.
that out of the way.
And then I don't know whether you want to talk about this during our hearing portion or not, but I did contact the schools, and they're going to be working on supplying all that information that they need to supply.
Oh, good.
They're going to refer on to this 2012 and kind of
Oh,
duplicate.
good, I was hoping you were gonna say that.
They're
That's-
going to duplicate what they are
And if you,
need to supply.
if you could help me communicate with Sue Gore a little bit more in the assessor's office.
Yeah, I think we
I
need
think we had a
to.
lapse, something happened with
I
our
think we're gonna have to
communications.
sit down, and, you know, with Sue Gord, maybe Paul Conley,
Mhm.
you know, and,
Tell them what we're looking for,
what we're
what we
looking
need,
for, and pull that information.
and what format to put it in.
Right. And, I don't, I guess part of the things that this school is looking for is to, put in a new playscape
Mhm.
that would also be available to the general public, kinda like the track.
Oh,
You know, so, and they're talking about trying to fix the drainage problem so it'll be situated next to the track.
so it's not gonna be in the same spot?
Well, I've had a engineer tell me that they can fix the drainage problem in that same area.
So it could be in the same
Could be in
area,
the same area.
just raised
So-
up or,
Right, so it'd be perfect because of the people that, I mean, it's not just for kids, because, well, the playscape would be for kids, but the track is used by
so the parents
a
could tour around the
large
track.
number. Well, parents can take their kids can go on the playscape,
Yeah.
while the parents walk, or
Prifty
grandparents can take
Playscape
their
gets a
grandkids.
lot of usage, so I
It's
imagine,
Tremendous amount of usage, and one thing that I think that should be done is additional lighting, you know, for the, and it could be a solar thing.
yeah,
For
at this
the
stage,
far
yeah.
end of the track, you know, because there's lighting for
LEDs,
where the playscape is.
low cost
Right,
lighting.
and if you put another pole down that other end, I think it, some people.
Just in
I'm not-
time, Chris, we're almost ready to close the public comments.
So,
Straight under the wire.
I figured I'd let you read it.
Sure. The town of Southwick Conservation Commission fully endorses the town in their efforts to preserve the 146.27 acres of land in North Pond. The tract of land is not only a contiguous parcel left on Congamon Lakes, it's still available for preservation. All of the properties, other than this piece, has been densely developed and populated with homes. So I mean, that's the only area really left along the lake that's natural. It was at one time populated with cabins, which have been torn down. Now back to almost pristine condition. It includes 2,900 feet of lake frontage, 3,700 feet of road frontage. It sits entirely on the aquifer, which could be utilized, and there are provisions in the conservation restriction for wellheads to be placed there for the town. And it's also going to allow for the town to loop their water source instead of having it dead end to two different places, which will keep it fresher. So it's not just preserving land for animals or for recreation, it also serves a function as far as water quality in town. And especially since the Springfield, sorry, rank this here.
yeah,
The water we get from the Springfield is not going to be treated to the same quality that it was before. This might give us benefits as far as how we're going to maybe offset treating that water that we now have to get that is not treated. So instead of creating treatment facilities. This might be utilized as well for that purpose. Nothing's fine. It's always been part of our number one priority for our open space and recreation plan to preserve that area. I've been on the Conservation Commission for almost 20 years. I was part of the group that started the open space and recreation committee in town. And that was always one of our number one priorities to preserve. And at one point, it was valued way higher than what it is now. It's valued twice as much as what it is right now. So 10 million, 5 million, plus we're getting, a lot of money from the state and other sources to help preserve that property. So I would put this right at number one as far as our priority in town to preserve. And the Conservation Commission unanimously supports it. For passive recreation, the state will hold a conservation restriction on it. So they will be monitoring and enforcing the laws that will be set forth on that property. So.
Got my hearing aids to work finally.
Figure it all out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Public comments, Greg?
I don't think I have anything to say.
Can I ask one question just to learn a few things? What's the difference between the open space and recreation plan as opposed to like the purpose of CPC? In a brief.
Well, they work together, that's for
Okay.
sure. They work
Okay,
hand in
I'm
hand.
curious.
This is a requirement by
Okay,
the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to
Gotcha.
do this
okay.
every 6 or 7 years.
It changes, but yeah, this was 7 years for this last one.
In essence, what they're hoping by communities creating this, it'll help them follow a plan, and I guess the general idea was the Community Preservation Committee would follow, this would kind of be
There
the
you go, yeah.
guidelines.
Guidelines.
But then the CPC also holds an annual hearing where we were at
Yeah.
last week? Last week,
Yeah.
that discusses, what the general public is looking for. Not just what the CPC is, not just recreation, but it's also
Historical and
housing.
housing.
Yeah, okay.
And so it
But when you go to apply for a grant, it's gonna ask you right in the grant, do you have an approved open space plan?
right.
Okay. so
Right.
And if the answer is no, you're gonna be
And
down
not
on the
just-
list.
Not just for CPC, but for other
For-
grants
for
too.
Almost all grants,
All
yeah.
Conservation.
That was key in getting the EOEA grant for the Sofinowski Preserve.
Mm.
And we got that through just in time to get that grant.
Yeah,
We had 2 grants that year, 2
Right.
self-help grants, Lipinski and Sofinowski.
yeah.
That helped a lot.
I wonder, this is just a thought, where we have different preserves and things like that, if we should mention in the plan somewhere about programs to make people aware of where to go and how hours of operation, some sort of pamphlet or informational or
Awareness, yeah.
a yearly tour, I don't know.
Yeah, there are tours, bird types, stuff, taking people, but I've always wanted to get an interactive town website
Yeah,
where it shows open space parcels that you can click on that spot, show pictures for what, interactive pictures
Yeah.
of
There you
what's
go.
there.
Chris has been talking about that for
There you go.
years.
Like the last 10 years, I've been saying,
Yeah.
who can we get to do this?
Whose department does that fall under?
well,
Like
it'd
the
be
preserves?
the preserves,
Yeah.
I guess the
Conservation.
conservation restrictions are, right?
Conservation runs, yeah, has most
We've
of
been
those
trying to get
properties.
interns we're not as tech savvy to do that, so we've been trying to get interns that, to maybe handle that kind of thing, or.
Does the
Well, we
town-
did-
I've
does the
always
town have a
wanted
tech
to do that.
person?
Well, we have a tech person, but, it's
Yeah.
Technology is changing so rapidly.
Well, it's also easier now than 10 years ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You can create a link and there are your pictures,
Right.
you know what I mean?
And we are very fortunate,
Yeah.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Governor Baker, and Polito just gave us a 91 or 92,000 grant to update our technology.
Oh, thank God.
So-
We need every
so
penny
that-
of it.
That is going to help begin the process of making hopefully things easier.
Yeah.
And one of the big thing was, that we've always talked about, is a better job with our website and making it easier to navigate, and that would be a great thing.
Whatever happened to that map we put together for places of interest in Southwick?
Right, I mean, that, things like that.
We still have that, we could take
Right.
from that and
Right.
expand on it.
Because people, they'll come to the town clerk's office, and you know what's happened over the years? People have left. you
Yeah,
know? I
they
mean,
come and
We
go.
have people in the office, nothing wrong, again, don't live in Southwick,
Mm-hmm,
okay?
no idea.
So they come, and usually, that used to be the hub years ago. You went to the town hall, and those people, most of them had been there their whole life, so they could say, go here,
Mhm.
go see this person, go see that, and now it's,
But we should expand, we should get that sites of interest, and I don't know if you wanna just put town-owned stuff or all places on it, but,
I think,
Get that.
work with Economic Development Commission
mhm.
and Conservation, and do it so the point.
A lot of people come do the rail trail, I mean, I'm sure they come to hike there.
And the rail trail has a map, because our business donated to that, so, it's,
So, when people know there's something to do,
Right.
they'll go there.
I mean, the-
People are looking for,
Previous open space committees, we had worked on those type of things. This one, right now, we're just working on the open space plan, cause we need to get that done. But
Right.
we get that done, we could continue doing, projects like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be great to get the word out. You could do that, put it on the website and pick a spot and
Yeah.
see where it is, see what's available, look at the
but that would
pictures of it.
that'd be great, because let's face it, that's,
even
Technology,
different
yeah.
seasons, we can have two different things, different seasons, we can have
You're
right.
interactive.
No worries.
Yeah. My daughter laughs at me, but she can pull everything up on that phone, and,
All right, it's 7:04, we'll get to a regularly scheduled meeting.
we
We
can
got,
officially close the hearing then? I'll make that motion.
okay,
Second.
Second.
the open forum is officially closed.
Can I go home for dinner, Dennis?
Thank you for coming.
Good night, everybody.
That clock's plus 4 minutes now. I'm getting a bad rap here. I was only 3 minutes late.
That is wrong.
Yeah. Thank you for
I'll reach up and
coming.
adjust it if you want.
Thank you, Chris.
I tend to cut things close.
Okay, everybody have a copy of the minutes from the last meeting?
Motion to accept.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved.
If you could pass that way, please. Oh,
Oh, a single page.
Yeah, we were able to squeeze it all onto one two-sided page. Teamwork.
That's a requirement in my life. Single page resume, single page CV. Oh, serious.
It's always good to have extra set of eyes, because you look at this thing over and over and over, and then somebody else look at it and they'll find something that's so
The
obvious.
more you look, the less you see
Yeah.
what happens, yeah, and if somebody else.
And there's probably still something on here we missed, but
And somebody will point it out to us,
we'll
Dennis.
find out afterwards.
That's why we do it.
oh, that's right. You're not on the list.
You sign?
Yeah, I was not
No.
sworn in
Oh,
at
you're
the time.
Exactly.
Oh, I know the regs.
Thank you. Do you have a pen?
I think I stole one.
If you need it, you can
No,
use
come on,
it.
look
You're
at me, I'm
good.
equipped.
So just a quick review of the open forum comments that we just had. A lot of park and rec stuff, a lot of recreation stuff, John.
I'm-
A lot of needs that we've identified, a lot of improvements that we identified.
On the recreation side
On the
primarily?
recreation side,
Okay,
yeah, but-
good, because that's where I'm kind of weak, honestly.
That's why I was hoping we'd have a lot of input on that, 'cause And we had a couple of people for supporting of North Pond as a priority to preserve that. And the other was the playground, ADA playground, right? ADA playground.
Well, talked about the
That wasn't
playscape at the Powder Mill School.
Playscape, Powder Mill School.
That would, because the realignment of the schools, the one there now is not age appropriate, and it's in a bog, a man-made bog, so it needs drainage.
Powder Mill is the middle school?
Right, but now it's, what, third? I get
3
this,
through 6.
three through 6 now, okay? And it was, gotta remember, that used to be the high school,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so,
It's 3 through
definitely
6
not age
now.
appropriate.
Okay.
Did you
And,
print out John's,
certainly not ADA
Papers,
compliant,
that
so,
section 7 and 8. Did
Yeah,
you-
that should be in,
Oh, it's in the packet.
it should be in the packet, yeah.
Yeah, this is nice, this is, it's dense, but it's laid out nicely.
Well, if we're gonna review sections, instead of starting with 9, let's start with the ones John did,
What did I do? Oh, 7 and 8.
7 and 8, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working 6. This is good data.
Yeah, you're
love data.
right up to 2017.
Yeah, 2018 was first quarter only. It's a great website. You just click through some menus and spit some stuff out. You gotta manipulate it a little, but, yeah. So, the first one, table 7, which isn't labeled as table 7, but it is in the original. It was 2001, 2010. I went in, I pulled 2017. I left 2001. You could delete it. I like it. I love to
I'd
see
leave it.
a trend.
Yeah.
It takes 3 points to make a data line, takes 2 points to make a mathematical line. So, yeah, it's good data, you know? It's real high-level stuff, but more establishments, more employment, and I love that number. You know, average weekly wage, that's
The
one
trend,
number.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it shows a trend, you know, so that's nice. Second one, yeah, I kept all their formatting. It doesn't come out this nicely formatted. PVPC did a great job formatting, so
Well, you're gonna give it to Cindy and see if she can, well, we'll see if we can format it.
yeah, I kinda just mirrored what they did, cause I liked it. There's extra stuff from last time, they've added like information technology and things.
Oh, yeah?
I just went top to bottom and pasted, it makes a huge chart, but, you know. And
Thanks, Greg.
2017? I mean, this is essentially background stuff early on, but you don't want 8-year-old data in your plan, you know, so now we got 17. No, table 6, I think it was like, it was a very interesting table actually, and it was how far people commute to work from Southwick. And it was from 2003. But the source was US Census, 2003. I would be really surprised if the federal government was thinking about where people from Southwood commuted. They're looking at a much broader thing. So I'm not sure the citation was right on that. I looked to find that and update it. I couldn't even find that. So delete it, or, you know, I'll take one last stab at updating it. But I don't think they got the citation right. Again, it's background
So
stuff.
that's 7 and 8, section 7 and 8?
Yeah. Table 7 and 8.
Table
I'm
7
not sure
and 8.
what section.
Right.
I was working from the electronic
Mhm.
copy.
Yeah, because section 8 is goals and objectives.
Okay, yeah.
Which, did we decide the goals and objectives and section 9, the 7-year action plan were pretty good the way they were? I mean, I thought those were the ones that we decided.
yeah, I
that-
thought we said we were okay with it. but
Okay
then you had highlighted
There
certain
was like
things that we
little
needed to.
minimal sort of changes, if
correct.
I remember right.
When you
They
pick-
were, you know,
You went through and highlighted everything,
Yeah,
Dennis, that
yeah, I
you
did,
thought
yeah.
that we, and we went through it.
Yep. So we kind of already briefly touched upon the status of the update from the assessor's office. We're gonna need to sit down with Sue and go over what we need for,
There's a lot to be done there. I think.
yeah, there's a lot of, technical
information.
stuff.
It may not take that long to get it, but
and we already did discuss the open space survey with the,
okay,
it's
good.
going out with the tax bills.
Okay, is that the only way it's going out?
Probably have them available right in the town hall, right?
Yeah, we were talking about doing a press release,
release.
you know, that they'd be going out in the tax bill, but why not have, you know, copies available at the town hall?
Yeah.
If you didn't get it or lost it, you know, that,
So tax bills, tax bill gets mailed out, and this is in it.
Mm-hmm.
How do people pay their tax bills in Southwick typically?
well, that's
It's
what we-
usually through your mortgage
Right.
lender, right?
Right, but you'd be surprised.
Okay, well, there's a
That
lot
we
of,
have to bring in extra help.
to
collect the
process
money.
open envelops and
Right,
cash checks.
and-
It's
right.
an old school town,
Right.
and a lot of folks own their homes, let's face it.
So we were thinking in the press release telling people, because they're gonna get it, even if they're gonna get the tax bill, even if it goes.
Oh,
even
absolutely,
if-
I get it,
So
even
they're
though
gonna-
my mortgagee.
So we're gonna, in the press release, talk about if you don't have to mail, if your bank handles it, please, you know, drop
Drop it
this
off.
off.
Yeah, are you gonna allow people to drop it off in that mailbox in the
You could
envelope?
put it in the mailbox.
That's a good idea.
I'm a cheap, you know what, and I
Right,
save my
just drive
51
through.
cents, I do the
Or
loop.
drop it off at the town clerk's
Yeah,
office.
a box in
Yeah,
there.
make it easy.
Yeah. But we'll make sure it's going out with the tax bill, and then Greg said he'd help us with a press release too, but.
So that's a couple thousand surveys, right? I'm just estimating, guesstimating, so. I don't know how many we got, do you know how many we got last time, Dennis? 200-300? If,
Through the Survey Monkey,
oh, every way possible.
yeah, they dropped some off paper
Oh, yeah.
versions, some through the survey, it was just in the hundreds though at the
Yeah,
most.
and, you know,
Wasn't-
I spent
wasn't-
way too much time banging that drum, I don't wanna do that.
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
There were some interesting comments though,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah,
They're
people
reading
wanna be
through
heard
them.
in this town, you know that.
Well, you know, those are the people that fill out surveys.
That's right.
Because I'm sure there's gonna be some comments we're not gonna appreciate, but,
Oh, yeah. Lots of those.
especially the people
So-
that are gonna say there's nothing going on and we're a cultural wasteland, you know?
Well, the last one was a lot of people wanted motorized trails, you
Yeah.
know, wanted to ride their ATVs and their
That
dirt
would
bikes
pass the
and.
prime for that.
I would support them on that, I wouldn't do the legwork personally, 'cause I don't
We
know
always
one.
told people if they wanted to do it, we would support them with it, but, you know, that's not, wasn't our thing to
Right.
make motorized trails.
Yeah, most of our lands.
They just wanna
currently
come to
don't.
the town, you need to
allow
do
it.
this for us.
Yeah,
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
so no electronic version this year?
You could put it on the website.
I'm wondering, so this will go out to everybody with tax bills, so
Yeah.
homeowners will get it.
Homeowners,
What
we had
about renters
households.
And American Inn folks.
Absolutely.
How are
They're
they
not
gonna
gonna get it, right? I don't know how we get it to them.
And you're gonna get one survey for 2 to 8 people in the home.
Well, something like the American Inn, we could print up copies and
Yeah.
leave down there. at the
Rosewood's
desk.
American Inn, Winfield, we could just print up copies and leave them in their lobbies, right?
I mean, how many do we really want? You know, I don't know that I want.
Many as we can
Okay,
get.
you know, within reason. I don't want 15, cause that
I
doesn't
mean,
mean
it'd
anything.
be more
you know.
impressive to put in our open space plan that we had, you know, several thousand of these surveys.
28% response or
Yeah.
something, you know, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the lady's name that did this last time? I'm drawing a blank. The PVPC lady.
And Capra.
Pam Capra. And did comment, wow, that's actually quite a few surveys for a small town. I
Yeah.
remember her just saying that anecdotally. If you want an electronic one, I'm willing to do the coding or transferring or linking or whatever, if you want
Well,
that.
we're gonna have to, because they made us do this in a Word document, and we need to put it in a PDF file format for electronic versions, so people can fill it out right there on their computer.
Okay.
Interactive PDF.
I don't know if I necessarily know how to do that.
Yeah, I do, it's,
It's a pain in the butt. Huh.
I don't know if it's any more of a pain in the butt than doing it this way, but
I'm
we could
willing to
find,
look into
we
it,
could
is what
find
I'm
somebody,
saying.
huh, Cindy, that could help us with
Well,
that.
she's probably better than I am. It's a pretty low bar to clear.
I'll work on it.
But we should look into that, putting it on the web, you know, so they can just fill it out and just email it back in to them.
And then we could always, like David said, we could approach American Inn when they have their
Yeah.
tenants association meeting and say that, you know, we'd like to drop off these surveys and if you could fill them out. you know?
Could even do a little presentation.
Right. The same with Rosewood, when they have their association meetings.
Meeting,
and
yeah.
I mean,
I
you
don't know
know,
about Winfield.
you know personally, seniors vote, seniors get involved.
And they have the time to do
That's right.
surveys,
So
Yeah.
it's,
you know.
you know,
They got the time.
absolutely.
So we talked about the status of the cartographic associates. I did finally get in touch with the person that I needed to talk to over there. Sent him the maps. We had, all the maps were done with the last one. He asked me, he said, if I can get the digital files from Pioneer Valley Planning, that it would be relatively inexpensive.
Right.
That they wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel. They just take the files and I might even have those files already. If not, we should own them because we paid for it the last time, so. That'll be the next step. I send them the maps, and if we can get the files, we'll get a price from them. How do we have to go in front of the, Community Preservation Committee every time we come up with something
I
for?
don't believe so. I thought we have a budget. I thought we were given X number of dollars.
I'm not sure if that's how the way it worked. We check with the CPC and,
Yeah. Make sure they're in agreement with Carlson.
yeah,
'Cause he
exactly.
was talking about taking money, well, cover our expenses.
Is that,
from-
I know there was a vote taken at town meeting to increase it from 4 to 5%, and the reason that they wanted to increase it was so we could spend it on an open space plan.
Right.
But was there a dollar amount? Was it, I'm not sure how that was.
I thought I don't know. I'll have to
Some
check.
towns take it to town meeting, how much they're gonna spend. We're doing it out of administrative.
Right.
So I don't think it has to go to town meeting.
No.
But I'm pretty sure they'd have to take, I don't know if they have to take a vote on every single one, or if you can just get a flat dollar amount
I
from
think
them.
that's what he was thinking, that we would get X number of dollars this fiscal period, X number of dollars next fiscal period if we needed it.
So we should check with, they have a new treasurer on board, so we check with her and find out what the allotment is, what we got to work with.
Well,
I think-
one way or another, we will come up with the money,
Good.
to achieve our goal.
It's well worth it. Pays itself
Yeah,
back.
absolutely, absolutely.
And the last thing is prioritize next steps for the update. What are we gonna do for the next meeting, the next major update? Would, I guess, to select the assessor's office
Yep,
and the maps would be my,
Yeah, there's a.
right.
Quickly, back to the survey, when is this being mailed?
set
Tax bill, she's probably gonna get out
any day.
Couple weeks.
any day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Maybe they're due.
okay. And they're due in December?
She said the end of October.
Yeah,
Okay.
we,
Is when I-
well, we
Just-
got.
Wow,
as
that's
soon
very
as
timely.
The
That's
state
what you want.
certified
Yeah, good.
certified everything, as soon as they certified everything, we could send out tax bills. So,
Okay, so soon.
Before
Imminent.
Christmas.
right. Well, remember, it used to be always due December 31st, and then we went to December 1st, and I think it's probably better if she gets it out and it's due by November 30th. It sounds better, you know.
And I think for the next meeting, we'll just start scratching out the priorities that are not feasible anymore or not existing anymore. We have a bunch of stuff listed. And there's no possible way we're gonna be able to preserve these places that are,
Yeah.
we should have realistic things put in there that we
Yeah.
are able to preserve,
Better
even
to
if it's not
folk-
that many.
Focus
For the
on
park
3 or
and rec
4
thing, do
realistic
you want me to
ones.
just write up everything that we have rather than going through and scratching out the old things? I'll just write up a list of.
Whatever way we're,
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
that would probably be just.
More direct.
even, yeah, cleaner to do it like that.
Do we
Use
wanna-
that as a guideline and
Yeah, I've got everything we went over tonight.
We'll
And if
just-
there's anything else, I'll,
replace those pages.
We want to authorize the chairman and vice chairman to do up a press release if needed, so when those tax bills go out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
You got a vote on that? Authorized, do we need a vote? I guess we,
Need a motion?
Yeah, just in case, because
Just
we're
in
going
case,
to
yeah.
be
So
working.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, because if we have to wait around for approvals for everything, we're never gonna get this done.
No.
And
We can work up a press release, find out when she's releasing them, and say that bang, drop them in the green
Yeah,
mailbox.
Mhm.
We'll have a box inside and,
somebody's gotta talk to Jim Middleton about getting getting this on the page, a quick link to this on the webpage.
yeah.
Because that's what it says on here, that it's on the webpage, so.
It supposedly,
It's
Carl-
buried in there now, it's buried, you have to really dig for it.
Do you?
It should be right on, as soon as you go to Welcome to Southwick.
I thought Carl
Yeah,
had talked to
take
Jim about improving it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess he said he was, but I didn't see it on there.
Is he still hard to get to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very difficult.
I want to put something, is Channel 15 the public access channel still have
Yeah.
its little blurb?
We could
on
do
one
a
of the-
blurb on that, we could
Oh,
do
yeah.
I don't know.
a blurb on the town
Put it
crier.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We got connections, we got connections,
Whatever you want.
you know. Please fill out your survey.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to go in the minutes, but what do you think about the town crier? You think it's better just the black and white, or you think the color is too distracting for it? Because you must see it more than
See-
anybody.
When you try to put too much on there,
Yeah,
you can't read it.
can't read it, it's
At
just,
nighttime, you can read it, but during the day, you
You
can't.
can't.
When you do those bold red, and it's bigger print and less information, I think you're more successful.
you see it more than anybody, so
Yeah.
whatever feedback I can get from
Yeah.
you. Day and night,
You know
it's
how
different
when
sometimes.
groups come to you and you're trying to put in all.
Oh, they
the
want you to
information,
put a
but
million
what
things
they
on
need to
there.
think about is what's more important. Catch people's eyes.
Mm.
Okay, oh, wait a minute, Rotary's doing something. And maybe they'll
Yeah,
go to their website, maybe they'll call town hall or call somebody and follow up on it. But if it's too much information, you can't read it.
yeah.
What, we have.
Well, just if you see something that looks really good, make a mental note. Something looks really bad, make a
That
mental
red,
note.
that red, when you did that red, that really sticks
Which one
out.
was that for?
I think it was the red background and the white.
Red and white?
lettering.
I'll check and
That's-
see.
That sticks out during the day.
All right, good to know.
But, of course, I like the Christmas colors coming out.
Yeah. We'll have plenty of those. Anybody got anything else they want to add? We had a very productive meeting, I think.
Well, I think it's good. We had the hearing. You did a great job with the survey. And I
We
think,
miss Cal Chungalo not being here, but
We're joking.
but I think we learned a lot tonight, I think. Jeannie
absolutely, I know I
asked us
did.
some stuff.
I know I did with the, thank you so much for the
Yeah.
stuff from the Park and Rec.
Yeah, good thing Jeannie was here to back me up, I'm sure I would.
It always helps to have
But I
others.
like Chris Pratt's idea,
Yeah, he's
interactive.
been, we've been working on that off and on. He actually had an intern here that was embedding the photos of the places, so you'd click on the map and it would come up with a photo of the place.
Yeah.
And of course, the intern had to leave, and it's very difficult to
Yeah.
get volunteers.
But it's tough, and I know that they do tours occasionally. I see Seth Kellogg doing a tour
Yeah,
here.
the bird
somebody doing
tours, yeah.
a tour. But it's hard, sometimes when they say, well, we're doing it Saturday morning. Some people work Saturday morning, or they got
know.
soccer with their kids, or this. So it's
I missed
it's
the
almost like.
ghost walk again, because Saturday, busy
Right.
doing something.
And it's too bad they don't do the ghost walk at nighttime, but anyways.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Like Westfield does. But anyway, as an aside, it'd be great, because I know like Diana King called me up, because she's a big supporter of the North Pond project. She says, come on, we're gonna go take a walk, and I wanna show you the other section
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But you need people.
We had a walk schedule
volunteers.
for last week to go through there, and then they realized it was the first day of hunting season, and
That's
probably
not a
wasn't
good
the
time
best
to do
time
that.
to do a walk out there.
But if we
I
got
didn't
together a
realize that. I
group
saw it
of
was
volunteers,
Yeah.
everybody has a specialty, and maybe do it once a month. I
Mm.
mean, if it's bad weather, you can't do it, but, the Sofanowski Preserve, or.
Used to have the stargazers go out there.
That was a great use for that
Yeah.
property.
Gene Cass scared them off. And told everybody they wanted to cut all the trees down to see the stars better, which wasn't. The guy might have said, well, maybe if that tree wasn't there. it would
Some
be-
hypothetical.
Well, if they're gonna watch the stars, tell them to go over to the North Pond area.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that'd be perfect.
perfect spot for it, yeah.
Because now that's all clear cut.
Yeah, Get back in touch with them.
I believe the comment was, this place is awesome, you have almost 360 degrees, the only way you could ever improve it is if you like cut some trees or something. That's what the guy said. Like, oh, they want us to cut trees. Get them the hell out of here.
What John was saying, this committee is so much better than any of our other committees we had,
No.
because we used to just argue about little stupid stuff all the time, you know? It was
Petty.
just- Everybody had their own little pet little things that,
Yeah, you'd kind of
so
get
this
in.
is,
We call them whirlpool discussions at work. We just go around.
Yeah. You made your point, say it once, exactly, let's move on.
but thank you, everybody,
All right,
appreciate
motion
it.
to adjourn.
Second.
We're
We gotta
adjourned.
all turn in our plastic things.
I have
Thank you.
two very minor corrections.
Oh,
You
okay.
can.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Is it?
This has gone
Okay.
out for print already.
Then send it. These are minor.
What was it though?
You really wanna know?
No.
We told you.
I can do this,
know,
I do this crap for a living, I could probably find too much.
It was too late a week
Keenan
ago.
spelled wrong, Bowman is actually the Bowmen Club, not the Bowmans Club.
Oh.
These are
Country
nits.
club.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be
Somebody will write it